So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the meeting of the Human Services Commission. If you wouldn't mind, let's all rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May be seated. We have a roll call. I guess it's our Brenda.
Brenda Steele, Bigelow Center.
Hi, Joe Krejci, and I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Joyce Lake, who is on the task force for our Age Friendly, which Brenda and Julie had put together. So just want to welcome and thank you, Joyce, for attending the meeting.
Okay, my welcome, Joyce. Thank you all. Thank you.
Rabbi Barbara Paris, Human Services Commissioner.
I'm Marty Schwartz, Chair of the Human Services Commission.
Lynn Palmer, Human Services.
Sheila Tessie, Recording Secretary.
Okay, thank you very much. We do not have a quorum at this point, so we will not be able to, I think we've already approved the February minutes, but we will not be able to approve the minutes of March and April at this meeting unless we get a quorum. So we'll move that forward to our June meeting. Is there any new business? Well, actually, we're going to introduce Joyce a little bit later. So let's move on to old business, starting with our Veterans Resources Subcommittee, and that will be Joe. And we're looking to get, and Joe, you can talk about that, to get some more commissioners on board for that. Maybe really important because I'd like to see more people participate.
Right. I mean, Marty and Julie and I, we met probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago just to make it a little bit more substantial what it is that we were thinking about. And I think we came up with a lot of good ideas. But we would like it if we could have a couple more people join the subcommittee. So if any of you find it within your time frame or being able to do it, we thought this is a pretty important thing and something that was pretty valuable that we could do for the town. So I think the idea of having a subcommittee is a good one. And again, I think we've come up with some good ideas. So if we could, please let us know. And
when do you have your meetings, or have you planned?
We haven't planned one yet, Barbara.
Okay.
What we had thought we would do is we wanted to noodle a little bit about what the subcommittee would be doing, which we did among the three of us. But we still feel it would be great if we had a little bit more.
Yeah, my time frees up a little bit now. I know I've been overwhelmed with a lot of end of the year.
Right.
If you meet over the summer, I could probably join.
Okay, that'd be great. You know, so if anybody else and
Joe, what did it entail that you're doing?
I think what we're going to do, number one, you know, they have a new person here right on the center premises who helps veterans with benefits. And if you recall, or maybe you weren't on the committee yet, Gwen, the former person who had that position came to our meeting and told us about the services that he extends. And he not only represents Fairfield, I think he represents the whole congressional district, so he has a pretty wide thing. But just recently came, or is in the process of coming. And so that would be one thing, is perhaps to meet with him, invite him to come to our meeting, let him explain a little bit more to the committee members what exactly he does, and kind of discuss with him possible other programs or things that we could work on to reach out to the veterans group.
Like their needs.
Yeah, exactly, because you know, a lot of this stuff when he, well, I think he will talk, this is what the former fellow spoke at, is that he gives a lot of counseling with benefits. So people who get, you know, difficult thing about whether it's medical or pension or disability, he's the one that I believe, was he appointed by the state, Brenda?
Well, this is actually the Connecticut State Department of Veteran Affairs office.
Okay, so he is the state rep.
Yes.
So he is.
It's just this region, but it is the state of Connecticut Veterans Affairs.
Connecticut, and you know, so I would think probably the best thing that this position does is counsel people on medical disability, pension benefits. But there are other things that we were thinking about aside from that, but I think our initial step was to introduce ourselves to him, and have him introduce himself to us, and then kind of talk to him and see what he sees as possible, and see if we can get engaged.
What their needs are.
Exactly.
I would love to be there.
I see what gaps.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I could see a tie-in for disabilities and also for housing, I mean, all the things
The whole thing.
that we're working on really would intersect with veterans in the same spot. You know, have affordable housing and accessibility in the town, you know, all of that, and so
Yep.
kind of all fits together.
Yeah, and again, Mike, when Joe and June and I were speaking, we were talking about, you know, veterans have done so much. Let's be sure that there are no gaps in services and supports for our veterans. So that's really, you know, we want to be sure that we're there for them.
Mhm.
So it's a really important subcommittee, we hope to get.
Somebody should be there for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and, you know, there are a lot of different groups within the town that deals with veterans affairs, and maybe, but rather than replicate them or duplicate them, let's see what it is, and maybe we could come up with something different. So that's great. So maybe, Marty, what we could do is, I'll talk to Barbara and Gwen and see what would be a good time to, maybe we can even meet here. Just to, maybe we want to join, I could talk to Fran, who is this person's, I guess it's her administrative assistant, and see what would be a good time for us to meet with him. And then I'll get back to you, you two, and see what would work out with your schedules. How would that work?
Great.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you both, and Joe, thanks again for all your work on this, really appreciate it. We do have a quorum, so thank you. Go ahead.
And I just want to add one thing, the reason I'm really doing it, George Morrissey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like, we're channeling this with George's baby, the veterans.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so just an honor, thank you, George.
He's an incredible.
And he was on,
If I could just add one thing I neglected to say at the beginning of the meeting, that on this recording, I just have to state that this is a meeting of the Human Services Commission, Thursday, May 23rd, 2024 at 4 p.m. in the town of Fairfield. My name is Brenda Steele.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. And I want, now that we do have a quorum, look for the approval of the March and April minutes. So, move in a second.
Second?
Okay, so I move it. All in favor?
Aye.
Or you're still reading? Okay. Yeah, right. We now have approval of February.
Give me a chance, I'll give you a chance to hold that.
That's wonderful. Carolyn is not here. I don't know if anyone else has her report.
No, didn't hear from her.
Okay. If not, we'll move on to Joe for ARPA president.
Okay, great, thank you, Marty. So you've heard me speak a couple of times about how we have progressed with the transportation part of the age-friendly procedure. And as I indicated, we have lucky for us today, we have Joyce Lake with us, who will explain a little bit about what she has done. She's done a lot of work graphing something out. If you recall, when we were talking about the transportation, one of the things that we looked at a lot was what was the existing public transportation that was available to Fairfield residents. Because when we did the survey, among other things that were discussed were wishes that perhaps maybe the routes would be, increase the number of routes, increase the frequency, etc. So what Joyce did painstakingly, and we'll move the thing up so you can see, is Joyce actually plotted out on that map where the bus routes are and all the bus stops as well.
Yes.
And so with that, why don't I, Joyce, I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but maybe Joyce, we could just point it out as you explain.
Can you all see that?
You can see what Joyce did with the pins, with the
Well,
pins.
you'll explain what the different lines.
Yeah, go ahead, would you explain what the pins are?
Yeah, the only thing, Brent, I don't know if anybody is tuned in, but would they be able to see that, or should we move it someplace else?
We don't have the camera today.
Oh, it's no camera?
No camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was done, just to see a visual of where all of the bus, stops are and what routes there are. And, tell you, that the blue lines are state roads. The red line, which is down here, I don't know if you can see that, is our Route 1, and that is a U.S. highway. This is the Merritt Parkway, that has the blue line, and the green line is I-95. The green and yellow pins represent the coastal link, and that link goes from the bus terminal in Bridgeport to the Norwalk hub. I should tell you that this is Westport. Western and Eastern up here. The yellow is all of Fairfield. And this is Bridgeport. So you can see that there's no bus transportation in any of this area. It's all along the business
GBT.
section.
No GBT.
So that was, the green and yellow is the coastal link. Route 3 is the black up here. It starts in, and it's not marked, because this is in Bridgeport. The bus goes up Madison Avenue, and it does a link here. Make a stop at Sacred Heart University. The blue one is a bus that goes up Park Avenue, stops at Sacred Heart. There's 2 stops at Sacred Heart, and to the medical center that is right up here. And that is now Hartford Healthcare. And
The red pins, is that one for Turnpike and Tungus Hill?
this is Tungus Hill, yes. And the bus, there's 2 buses, one that leaves from the bus terminal in Bridgeport, and the other one starts at Fairfield Woods Road and Hilton Avenue. And make these stops along this route. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, so there's nothing other than the southern part of
Right.
Bridgeport, it's from Fairfield, and then that one area going up a little bit to the north, there's no coverage.
Right. Well, the only part in the north is the stop here at,
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart.
That's right.
Right.
And then the one that I've seen it, because I live near the other one, I've seen it at that place, Stilton and Fairfield Woods, right there.
Because what's this street here? This is
Stratford Avenue.
And just to make a peek at it, look at how highly densely populated it
There
is.
used to be a bus fare. There used to be a bus that went up Sprattfield, I don't know how to go down Brookwater and to Fairfield Woods.
There was, you know why
Years
they
ago.
stopped that? No, that's that one down there.
No, but it
Because that's the corner of Stilson and Fairfield Woods, there is,
But there was
right there.
But
That's by the road.
I think it's Sprattfield Road years ago.
Years ago,
Years ago,
it's
because almost 20 years
Loretta.
ago, I lived off the Sprattfield Road and
Had a bus.
they had a bus there.
And see, that's the kind of stuff that George was trying to highlight, because what we're trying to do is, everybody's saying, let's increase the number of routes, let's increase the frequency, and also the quality of the bus stops, because some of these bus stops, you see people sitting on milk crates to wait for the bus. But I think what Joyce has done here is to show, yeah, we do have certain parts of the town that are covered by public transportation, but there is a sizable portion, especially on the right-hand side, where there's commercial density as well as residential density.
Not covered.
And there's no coverage. I mean, obviously, you do have Greenfield Hill where there's, that section where it's South Florida, where there's no coverage.
No coverage.
But I mean, for public transportation, but maybe that's where you get into the discussion about these ride services and so
And
forth.
people are places, Joyce, you know what's happened with that ride service? That was part of the Greater Bridgeport Transit District?
It was never good. That, I don't know, but I spoke to someone, they said that there was a service, and it was, $3.50 a trip.
$3.50 a trip. At one point it was free,
Yeah.
but that could have changed.
Years ago, it changed its name now, but it used to not be that good anyway, because we would have clients who, the problem was they
Yeah,
say,
wait for it.
wait
Yeah,
for it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then let's
we
say
know.
you went to a doctor, you
Right.
could wait an hour before you
Yeah.
get you back up,
Well, it's
you
supposed
know
to be a half hour
what I mean?
window.
Right,
And probably dial a ride.
Yeah,
it was never the best, you know.
right.
Yeah, that can be the problem.
So have there been meetings with the transit district to encourage them or to talk about?
I understand that we're planning a
We're trying to. I think there, to answer your question, Maya, Brenda, I think there was a meeting in the fall. But since then there's not. But see, this gives us better preparation to discuss something like that.
Yeah, well, this is.
Because, you know, people generally say, well, gee, we don't have bus service in certain parts of town. But I think what Joyce has indicated there is very clearly where the bus stops are and where in town the buses
And
are.
where the needs are that are not being.
Exactly.
When you did the survey though, because this will come up, I'm just playing devil's advocate, how many people said that they want it, you know, because someone might say, look, in Fairfield, we don't need it, people could call an Uber or a taxi, or how many people really want to take a bus, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, it's good that you do, because I think you're feeding me a softball. Because basically, Barbara, and this is the point that I've always said with the survey. The survey had about 1,000 people respond, didn't get a full.
Right.
Now, 97% of the people that responded said they drive.
Okay.
But of the people that responded, they all said they would like more bus routes and more frequency, blah, blah, blah. So what I think, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I think the people who use public transportation are probably the ones that haven't responded to the survey.
Right.
And that's why part of our challenge is to reach out to those people to see what they are. I mean, because what you were mentioning, Barbara, there were people that said, yeah, we have these dialed ride services,
Right.
but they stop at a certain time of day. And so if you have a doctor's appointment at 3:30, it may be over after the dial ride's no longer in service. These are things we're still trying to get information about and come up with a better survey. But what I was saying before we were to have another meeting with Greater Bridgeport, we wanted to get a better feel as far as what it is that we think we have. And maybe we're wrong, maybe we don't have all of the routes indicated up there, but
Yeah, we
then
do.
Greater Bridgeport could tell us that.
We have their, that schedule that.
No, I'm just being devil's advocate again.
Yeah.
So that, yes, so they can confirm, yeah, you have that section there, especially on the right-hand side, that has a high density, but no public transportation.
Now, the routes we do have, are people using them? Because I'm just thinking again, when they're gonna come back and say that, well, look, though, we have all this and we get 2 riders, you know, a day that use it, so are they?
That's what we have to determine.
Right, right.
That's part of it.
And for
But
Fairfield
also-
residents, not,
Right.
Here, this
Right.
is Black Rock Turnpike, and it is a state road, so they could extend it up here.
It doesn't go very far though, there's going to be a medical center at the intersection of Black Rock Turnpike and the Marriott, it's going to be a new medical center.
That's
Oh,
right.
now that's the included,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks.
Well, so more reason though to expand
Right,
what's out
exactly.
there.
So perhaps a question to pose is asking about the history about the bus that was on Stratfield and didn't go to Brook, I don't know if it went to Brookdown, Brooklawn or not, but, first ask about that history, but the second is what is the effectiveness of this loop that looks like it goes up to Fairfield Woods and then back again, as opposed to, could a loop be made to go up, perhaps up Brooklawn to Stratfield, down,
Yeah, well, that's the
and
question.
then loop through there, and then the other side is the other half of connecting Black Rock Turnpike to the post road,
Mm-hmm.
down the other side of Black, like, right now the bus goes up Constance Hill, but it's gonna go down the other side of Black Rock Turnpike. Well, and then, because one of the questions which we're considering utilization is, well, where's the bus going? Right, so if someone wants to go from Black Rock Turnpike to downtown Fairfield, do they have to go back to Bridgeport, to downtown Bridgeport, and then catch another bus to come back to Fairfield? Like, do they have to make this huge loop? Or is there a more direct route? So that's what I'm faced with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call an Uber.
I think that's a very good point, Lorraine, because I think we even discussed that at our last meeting, Joyce, when we had the task force meeting, exactly what you mentioned. So if I want to go from Black Rock Turnpike to, the gazebo in downtown Fairfield,
Right.
do I have to take 2 buses? Do I have to go to Bridgeport and then come back?
Yeah.
Right, and it's just,
Well, you know, I drove down here to see this, what, was on this road. And it's really, this part of it is all, residential. There aren't, businesses there. So,
but
it
it's,
seems like,
but it's a connector to the other part of it.
yes, it is.
So, we know why buses going through the residential neighborhood on smaller streets.
Right, but
Right.
also, this
That's not
part is
true.
very, part of this is very hilly and windy, and I don't know if that's a reason why. Yeah. Yeah, so,
Or, I mean, what about going down Stilson? If you don't want to go from, Black Rock,
So that's Stilton down,
yeah, down
That's
to the
another
North
option.
Road.
it depends
Right.
on me.
and then down University.
Yeah,
Right,
That's
right, University.
Right.
well, now, that's another question because it is a state road because it's blue. So there could be transportation.
Right, between
Yeah.
Black Rock and
Post
Post.
Road.
Right.
He is still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, then you can right by the train station too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, right, that's true.
if there's a need, you know, that's what GBT will assess
Oh, I
as
didn't
well.
tell you about the orange one. The orange, comes, along Commerce Drive,
Hmm.
and it goes into, well, Kings Highway, and it goes to Carrollton.
What's it called?
That's the stop, the only stop
To where?
is
Well,
Carlton.
Yeah, right. And, the purple is also, comes along Commerce and makes a stop at Black Rock and Commerce, which is very close to the, metro station. And then it just returns, there's no stops along here, and it just returns to.
and now Commerce Drive is where they have those new apartment buildings.
Yes.
I should say, buildings, I mean,
Yeah.
a number of them. So again,
Yeah.
you wonder if that will be improved on at all. But anyway, whether or not it is, this is just something that, until you can discuss something, you really have to see it visually.
It's a great
Figure
visual.
it out.
Yes, it really is a fantastic visual.
Yeah.
Thank you for,
So Joyce,
Your
the
hard
next step in this would be, you're going back to the,
Find out what the need is and also to meet with, Greater Bridgeport Transit and see what the possibilities are.
right.
And,
And how much flexibility do they have?
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, I'm sure it's all a matter of money, funding, whether it's grants and stuff, that's the kind of stuff that gets into it. But this is
Well,
kind of what we're trying to explore anyway.
But obviously, if we could get more input from people that live in that area, that would be able to demonstrate the need, that would go a long way, I think.
Right.
That's right, Juan. And they're trying to do that. They being, the task force, they were talking about getting focus groups. Because, the survey is one thing. I already indicated that 97% of the people in the survey drive, so
Right.
that's not the audience, the truth.
Yeah, the people that really need the service are not the ones that.
Exactly.
Right.
And really, as you said, it shows the need to reach out to the people in that quadrant or whatever, that corner up there to
Yeah.
see.
How
what
do you
extent.
reach out to them? And if there's a.
Well, that's why, when in a sense, we've been working, the group's been working with folks at Fairfield U, that specialize in things like this, and also with Sacred Heart, that specialize in how to do servers, how to reach out to people, do focus groups. And so this is one thing I think that probably we would ask them, what would be the best way to do to reach out to a group like that?
well, and so this is also part of the plan. The focus group and listening sessions is part of the overall AARP plan, so those need to be done to kind of have backup, for each domain. But another way to reach people is we just sent a letter out to all of Fairfield clergy. I don't know if you received it or not. So reaching out to houses of worship, trying to communicate what we want to do and hoping that they will put in their communication information about transportation. So Joe and Joyce, perhaps focus groups through.
Well, something will come from that.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So, stay tuned. Just want to know that this is an ever-evolving area, but Joyce did a lot of work putting this together.
We do appreciate you doing that area. And Joe, thank you for inviting Joyce, and Joyce, thank you very much for doing all this work.
And we want you to come back again.
You're always welcome to come back.
With an update after the,
Yeah, hopefully we will have that
meeting
soon.
with the.
Yeah. Thank you, Joyce. Yes.
It's such an important area, so thank you both very
Yeah.
much.
And also on that, there's within the age-friendly, the housing domain and the social participation domain are also going on right now. So there's two subcommittees working on that. So at some point, we'll have an update on those two domains as well.
And housing. Housing.
Yep, did I
So
say
that's
housing?
right.
Yeah, housing and social
Right, you did say that.
participation so transportation's getting further and further along, and social participation and housing are being worked on now. So it's going well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, thanks again. And Brenda, you have your department update?
And not too much to share. All things are going well here at the Bigelow Center. Same as always, busy, some happy faces. We had a Memorial Day barbecue today. That was really fantastic. Tomorrow, we have the Connecticut State legislators here for discussion on mental health and an update on the legislative session, which closed in early May, and what affecting anything that passed, didn't pass, as it affects older adults.
So they're going to be speaking about what updates there are and advances in terms of supporting people with mental health diagnoses?
Yes, and anything, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so,
That's
10 o'clock tomorrow here, yep, at the Bigelow Center. So you're all welcome, all members are welcome, so it should be a good discussion.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
Otherwise, everything is moving along.
Yeah, everything is moving along, looking
I
forward
have
to
a
this.
funny story I'll share with you people. Somebody I know, I'm not gonna say where or whatever, had an alarm going on in her house, and she's starting to fail mentally. And, so this alarm is going on, she had no idea what to call it, and it turned out it was a smoke alarm. And it kept going off, so it annoyed her, so she took it outside and put it behind her garage. Now, you know what's gonna happen. Now what's going on in the neighborhood? And there were complaints, so the fire department came, and the police came. And they had to remove it, but, I cracked up when I.
Well, thank goodness. She didn't just leave it. It's a good thing that people did
That's right.
complain, because she needed that in her house.
So probably she's the battery.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I know people know, by the way, this is an aside, that if you call the fire department, they will come to your house and install a battery.
They did for
Come and check it.
Yeah.
They're so good about that.
Yeah.
So, good aside, they need that service.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So Brenda, the new air conditioning system is installed, or is? what is-
Yes,
It's great.
Part of the
It's
town.
part of the-
yes,
right.
yeah, I mean, I think there's still, I think that's actually part of that one.
Now we'll look at.
What's that?
The new system throughout the entire building now?
I don't believe it's a fully new system. DPW has all that information. But they did add 2 units. I don't know if they were a replacement exactly, but that happened last week, yeah.
Great. And the funding is working through all of the supports that are being offered through the Bill Center?
Funding,
Whether
Yes.
it's fees of service or.
Yes. yeah. It's, going well, and exercise classes and all that. Yes, going well. We're able to put on our programs just fine, and yes.
And of course, you know that next month for our meeting, the first selectman will be our guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. And what's the date?
That's 28th.
27th.
27.
So, any questions, think of all your questions.
Yeah, I haven't.
Sure, we're not ready for that meeting.
One question I was thinking of, there's this man he lives outside, I think, exit 19, and he's always there. He has a sign, and he's got a beard, and he changes his clothes all the time. And I just wondered if the police ever, or anybody in town, ever goes to somebody like him and says, what's your story? And there was another woman too, on the bench across from where Bob's was, and, funny story, but I saw her a few times, and I stopped, I said, are you all right? She said, yes. So I gave her a few dollars, and then she was still there another time, and I had a push cart basket, like when you go grocery shopping. It was my sister-in-law's anyway, and I thought, what, for the need. So I gave it to her, and each time she said, you have a cigarette.
Well, we at Jewish Family Service knew several of the people in the area years ago. There was this one particular woman who was infamous, she's passed away now, but she told us she made $600 a day.
Wow.
Collecting.
Yeah, well, and she was a survivor, and Gigi was amazing. She was a beautiful woman. She had been married, had 2 kids, had a breakdown mental, and she ended up, just panhandling. But everyone knew she would go to the Y, and they'd let her take a shower, and she went, around to the different places, and they knew her at the hospital, and she was really strung out. She checked herself into, to St. D's, and they knew Gigi. Whenever she did, they would call me. And the nice part of the story was sad, but she died and there was nobody to bury her. And her body was laying in, probate in Fairfield, and nobody was doing anything because nobody wanted to pay for it. And I called Abraham Green and they said, call my brother. And the brother had a plot right by St. Bede's in that park cemetery or whatever for free. And they opened the grave. Do you see it? I mean, the state paid for the opening of the grave, and I did the service. The few people came and we buried her there, you know, and, God bless her, and, but, you know, as I said, I think that some are survivors and have made money, and others have really got mental illness and alcohol problems. And it's a good question, does the social service try to reach out to help them, just like Operation Hope, or you know, or, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real or not.
if-
You know,
Well, that's the other.
first time I saw it, I gave $5 and I went home and I got.
We can, maybe we should take this offline, maybe we should adjourn the meeting. I think we should, yeah, and then, and you can, I think.
Let's take a motion to adjourn.
Yeah. Aye.
Okay.
Second, and if we're selecting.